In this video, we're going to be discussing the properties of a circle. Okay, perfect. So let's start with the first circle. I'm just going to use different colors. So we have a center. This part here, we call it the center of a circle. Ne? So these are the centers of the circle, right? Perfect. And then the first line that you need to know is this line, the line from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference of the circle. Ne? It can move from here to there. It can move from here to there. It can move from here to there. This line, we call it a radius. Ne? It's called a radius. A radius, right? Perfect. And then you need to know that the radius of the circle, or we call them the radii. Ne? When they are a lot, we call them radii. They are going to be equal in length. So which means from here to there and from here to there, the distance is exactly the same. Right? All radiuses or all radii of the same circle are exactly the same. And then we have another straight line that goes from one part or from one point on the circumference, then passes through the center, and then to the other point on the circumference. This line, we call it a diameter. We call it a diameter. This line, we call it a diameter, right? It's a line that passes through the what? The center of the circle and joins the 2 points on the circumference of the circle, right? And I'm sure you can see that the diameter, its distance will be always 2 multiplied by r. Because here you have a radius from here to there, and you have another radius from there to there. So the distance is going to be 2 times that of the radius. Okay. Perfect. And then we have what we call the circumference of a circle. I'm going to just highlight it. This part here that I'm highlighting is called the circumference. The whole part is called the circumference of the circle. So it's like the measure of the amount of wire that we're going to use to create that circle. In simple terms, it is the perimeter of a circle, right? It is the perimeter of the circle. And we know that the circumference is given by 2 multiplied by pi r. You must know this formula for the circumference of the circle. All right. Then we have a line that is called a chord. A chord is any line that joins 2 points on the circle. So if this point is A, and then that point is B, we're going to call AB a chord. AB is a chord. Do you agree that diameter, with the definition of a chord, we can call it a special chord, basically. The diameter is a chord that passes through the center of the circle. It's a chord that is going to divide the circle into what? Into 2 segments, right? Into 2 equal segments. So this one, you see this part here, we call it a minor segment. Minor segment. Then this part here, we call it a major segment. So a chord divides the circle into 2 into 2 segments. Perfect. And then we have what we call an arc. An arc of a circle is a piece of a circle, right? A chord cuts the circle into 2 equal arcs. I'll show you now what I mean. Let's use a highlighter here. So guys, I'm going to pick this color. Okay, let's highlight. This is a part of the circle. We call it a minor arc. This part here, it's a minor arc. And then that other part, that side, we're going to call it a major arc. So this is the arc, né? This part here is the arc. So that part we call it a major arc. That is the what? Major arc. Né? Major arc. All right. Perfect. And then this part here, né? This part. You see this part here? The part between two radiuses, né? It had a special name as well. The part between two radiuses, the space or the area enclosed by the two radiuses is called a sector. A sector is the area between the two, or the region between the two radiuses of the same circle. We call that a sector. Okay. Perfect. And then we have a segment. I already discussed the segment. The segment is this bigger area here. This is the major segment. That is the smaller segment, right? And then we have two types of lines. Ne? The first one is this one. See? It cuts the point there and there on the circle and keeps on going. This we call it a secant. Ne? If you see, a secant is very similar to a chord. The only difference is a chord does not keep on going after touch. It just touches and it exists inside only. A secant passes through. Ne? A secant to a circle is a straight line that cuts the circle in two places. Ne? Perfect. A secant extends beyond the circle on both sides of it. You see, a secant is extending beyond the circle. You see, it's extending there. So we call that a secant because it's extending, but a chord does not extend. Right. Then the last thing that you need to know is the tangent of the circle. Tangent line, it's a line that touches the circle only at one point. We call it a tangent line. Okay. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, about the theory of circle. Right. I'm sure it makes sense. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so and share with family and friends. Aluta continua. Tango.